Oh baby, I'm so happy to be filming again. You don't even know. You will know shortly though. Hey guys, welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. I'm good. Hey guys, welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. Zippers up. Good. What else am I forgetting to do in life? Live a life, because I'm not. Hey guys, welcome to, glasses are crooked. Your face is crooked. Hey guys, welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. Oh man, whatever. Just go with one of those, all right? One of them's gotta be good. So before I get started, let me zoom in. This is more personal, you know? So before I get started on this video, there's just a couple things I want to go over. First of all, I want to give a huge thank you to Christian, one of my Patreon supporters and YouTube subscribers. He has made me a lid. Look at this, it got my logo on it. Can you see it? Where's the light? There it is. Look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It goes right on top of my cup. It's freaking brilliant. I love it. And it's got a little gear too. I mean, it's perfect. Thank you. So another thing, I never really talk about the equipment that I use to film my videos. A lot of you guys know I had issues this winter, and I did a little fundraiser and I raised money to buy my new camera equipment that I have now. Now the camera that I use is a Canon 70D with a 10 to 18 millimeter lens. It's a wide angle lens, doesn't have much of a zoom, but it is best for what I do on a daily basis. Just that setup alone is about $1,500. Pretty expensive for me. I think that's actually extremely expensive. I baby the camera like you wouldn't believe. Now for audio, because I couldn't use the onboard mic or a Rode mic or a shotgun mic, because I'm constantly moving, I'm constantly walking out of frame while I'm talking. You guys have seen my videos. I turn my back to the camera constantly, so I need something that is better at receiving the audio. So I did some research when I bought the camera for a really good lapel microphone. You guys probably have seen this thing right here. It makes me look like I'm wearing a V-neck sometimes. Sometimes I remember to pull it up so it's not as bad. But yeah, it's a really good microphone. Just the microphone alone. The wire that's connected to this thing is $80. In my pocket, I wear this little transmitter right here, and then on top of the camera is some antennas with a receiver, and that plugs into the microphone port on the camera. Sorry, I got so close. I saw something that was wrong and I needed to fix it. Now it looks like an alien. Good. Now that system I use for audio is a Audio-Technica System 10. This piece of equipment right here is $500 in itself. That's just $500. So when I purchased this on Amazon, I also bought a protection plan, a 2-year protection plan for $50. And I also, when I got all this equipment and I had all the receipts, I went to State Farm Insurance, and I bought an article insurance policy. It was $50 for the year, and it covers all that stuff, my tripod, my camera bag, the batteries. All said and done, the equipment that I use is about $3,000 to make these videos, just to film and audio record them. That's not counting the editing software and the computer that I use. So the other day I was charging my transmitter, and I have a battery pack. This was stupid, okay? I do stupid things. I put the battery pack on top of the thing and I plugged it into the receiver, and it fell off and it broke the charge port on the receiver. So I contacted the one insurance company, the one that I got through Amazon, because I figured it would be the best to use that for that versus using my State Farm policy. State Farm policy is for when this thing is completely destroyed. Everything is destroyed. And I contacted them. It's been somewhat of a nightmare. I'm not going to say their name because I still haven't received the money back from them yet. I'm supposed to be getting a check for the value of it, which was $449. And again, I got the $50 insurance on it, so it was $501 next day shipment on it. So $501 I spent on it to replace this thing. I don't know why I'm saying this to you. I'm not by any means getting rich from YouTube. No, by no means. Any money that I make from YouTube goes right back into it. If you don't know how YouTube works, when you're watching a video and the ad pops up at the beginning of the video, there's something that, you know, you can skip ad or whatever, you click that, and then when the video is playing on that side, there's an ad right there, and then in the first like 10 seconds there's an ad that pops up right down here, and you always click that X to get rid of it. Each one of those ads I get paid off of, as well as every other YouTuber that creates videos. Those are where they get their ad revenue, and it's based on a CPM, cost per M, which stands for 1,000, which is weird, and it's generally 3 to 9 cents per 1,000 views. I'm not really allowed to say how much money we make, I guess. I don't know. If you read the YouTube policy, it's kind of confusing. But basically, every million views you get, it's between $1,000 and $3,000. I only have 1 million views, so you can, well, I have 1.5 right now. So you can kind of guess how much money I've made on YouTube, and it's basically a break even for me. All that money that I make on YouTube goes back into these videos. I don't use it for leisure. I don't really have a leisure life. I basically just this is my crack. But I thank you guys for viewing these videos, because if it wasn't for you guys viewing it, I wouldn't be able to afford equipment like this, as well as the support that you guys give through the donation that's on my channel and through Patreon. Basically, those are the 2 ways that people donate, and I thank you guys all for contributing and watching my videos. That's the big money makers, the viewers. Where am I going with that? I never know where I'm going with anything. But I think that is it for my pre-video rant. Is that all right that I did that? I hope it was. I hope that probably put it about 5 minutes. Sorry. So let's get back to this project that we're doing here. This is Tiny House Terry 2.0, or so it's called. I don't know. It might be changing. This is a fully fan-funded tiny house build brought to you by my Patreon supporters, as well as any sponsor who would love to join me in this build. I will gladly accept sponsors on any of my projects. If you don't like that, click it. See ya. On my Patreon page, I post all my videos as I upload them. So if you don't know this, Patreon is a monthly contributor site. Basically, you go to the Patreon page, you can give $1 a month, and with that $1, you'll get advanced access to all my content, as well as behind the scenes, just for you videos. Those just for you videos are little projects that I do that don't really have to do with the channel. They're vlog style, some of them. Some of them are questions where I throw out my idea to them to see what they think about it, get their feedback, and that is what's going to drive this build, is the Patreon supporters. So if you want to be a part of that, please go check it out. Link's going to be in the description below. So as you most likely know, this is my trailer that I bought, a camper trailer, and you've obviously been listening to me complain about it. It's not strong enough to support the weight of a fully sized tiny house. A 20-footer is what I was going to build on it. These axles are not rated for that kind of weight. Now, I did look at many different options, doing metal studs, SIPs, and doing 2-foot on center with 2x4 construction, all these different things. It's still going to be way over the weight that these axles can support. So I brought this idea to my Patreon supporters about building a teardrop trailer, or a teardrop trailer on steroids. And then some people started suggesting doing a teeny tiny house, basically. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, you know what are the absolute necessities that you would need in a tiny house to survive or live? And so I designed a new tiny house, and that is what this video is going to be about. We're about 8 minutes in, aren't we? I know we are. I haven't even edited it, and I can tell. So here is my design. This is a 13-foot trailer. The living space is 10 feet. It's got just a shed roof on it. I'm gonna do a full tour of this in just a few minutes. We're gonna go inside and do it. Now, my trailer is 21 feet long, so I gotta do a lot of modifications to this. Tomorrow I have a welder coming, which will be, the next video that you guys watch will be the reconstruction of this trailer. I'm going to be cutting off about 4 feet off the back here. I've already made some designs to this thing that I haven't really put into the scale model yet, but I think I'm going to do a larger deck off the front since there's not much weight. So what do you say we go inside and take a look at this? Just to let you know, I'm not really going to go inside. I'm actually going to work on this right now. So I'm going to start filming the next video. But if you want to see it, again, Patreon. It's a great thing. I mean, it really is. I'm about a month ahead on Patreon versus YouTube. Sometimes I get a little farther ahead, and then there's all those like extra videos. Like, who doesn't want extra videos? Like, if you like my videos, you might like Patreon, because there's a bunch of videos there. I even have one video that I'm so embarrassed that I won't even post it on Patreon, but maybe I will. I don't know. I need to re-edit because it really makes me look like a crackhead. Okay, that's it. I want to definitely say sorry about the static in this video as well as the next video, because I didn't realize how bad this was. That looks like it's not hitting on anything. Obviously having issues with the new microphone because it's new. I gotta get used to it. So it has been a few days since I filmed the beginning of this video, and I've already filmed the first 20 minutes of the next video you'll see in this series. So I made the modifications to the trailer to accept this design, and the reason I did that before I did the rest of this was to kind of lock that down in to figure out if my crazy idea was going to work with the trailer that I had. So I have redesigned this teeny tiny house. I have added the extra, I think it's 3 feet off the front. So I'm going to zoom in on this thing and dissect it and show you everything about it, and also the different modifications that might happen throughout my build. But generally this will be what I end up building. So this is going to end up being a 16-foot trailer. A lot of math has gone into this project to make sure that I have the correct weight distribution. Basically what you have here is a large deck. This will all be framed out underneath here with pressure treated lumber, and then I'll do decking boards on top of this. So this is all open to the ground below. Right here will be the front door. This is going to be a very small door, 2 feet wide, I believe. I'm going to try to go to the recrap, whatever the store that shit's called, but the reduce, reuse, recycle store, and find a double door and try to buy it for a really cheap. But then I'll just use half the door and I'll make a new frame for the door out of some pine to save on some money. But this right here, whatever this ends up being, will set the height that my trailer walls are going to be. Now I can modify the door that I put in here with the height and the width. I can rip stuff down and make it work, but that's generally what I want to shoot for, is a 2 foot by, I forget what this was. I think it's like 6.5, maybe 7 feet tall. And then this roof will just come over the front door about 3 feet. I've also considered continuing this roof to the end of the trailer and then doing a complete screened-in porch around here. Screened-in porch will be extremely lightweight. It would be a pretty functional area to use. It's going to be an outdoor living, and it'll be lightweight, which is really the main thing about this house. So these windows that are on this are all going to change because they're just rough of, you know, what I'm trying to get. I'm going to go to the Habitat for Humanity or the Restore and try to find windows that roughly fit these openings. Now this is a 5 by 6 foot window, which is generally the size of the window that's in the front of most houses. Some of them are a little wide, 7, sometimes 8 feet, which I can still fit into this space. That is really what I want. I want a really big window here, which is just gonna let a lot of light in. It'll make it feel like you're living outside. If I can also find one that hangs outside, so you have like a bench seat right here, I won't use it as a bench seat, but that will add to the living space inside. It's not going to add too much on the weight. So those are things that I'm looking at. I'll have to do an extra little roof on this thing, but the width I'm not going to exceed because I'm only 5 feet wide. This right here is a 3 by 5 window. This again will most likely change. I might just do a 2 by 3 or whatever. But since this is more of a 3 seasons type house, I really feel like you need an air conditioner. So like a window air conditioner unit would fit in this window perfectly. So I'm really going to try to find something about that size. Now on this side there is a 2 foot by, I believe, 5 foot window. If I could find another large window, that might work. There's things on the inside that might screw that up a little bit. Now this is the first scale model that I actually put my axles on there. From the center of these axles, this is 40% to the back, and it's 60% of 13 feet, which I'm going to go over in great detail in the next video. And the roof is going to be about 13 feet long. It's pitched approximately 1.5 feet in this 10 feet. That will possibly change because I don't want this to be over 10 feet tall in the back, and I want my front door to work in the front of the house. I have had people say, what about wind catching this? I will be doing hurricane ties across the top here where it connects into this wall, and it'll hold it down. This will all be 2 by 6 construction. So the wind, I doubt it'll pull it up. 60-mile-an-hour winds, no, it'll be completely fine. So there are 2 different ideas that I'm floating around with for this model that I have so far. One is doing an outdoor shower. and an outdoor bathroom basically. So I have this wall section that'll go in right here. Now that little room will become the shower, so there'll be a shower head mounted on the wall right here, and again it'll be open to the floor below, so any water will drain out onto the ground. And there'll also be a composting toilet in there, which you would remove and you could place on the hitch while you're taking your shower. Now, one reason I'm thinking about doing away with that is so that you could put a comfortable seating area out here, like outdoor patio furniture. On the outside here, you could do 2 large chairs and possibly a coffee table. But I was thinking, if I did leave this, this is definitely kind of a necessity to have as a bathroom, what would be the best way to utilize the rest of this 3 feet? So I thought about adding something like this off the front. This will just be, I'll probably, if I do decide to do this, I'll weld some steel onto it so it gives it some structural rigidity, because I won't be able to really tie this in well. And then just do a 1.5 foot countertop on top of this, and then do 2 bar stools. So that would be plenty wide for 2 people to sit and have dinner. If this was screened in and the roof continued on that, then that's just a really nice outdoor patio that's already screened in, and it's not adding too much weight to the structure. If anything, I need a little bit more weight off this front because of the way I've already modified my trailer. I'm leaning towards this type of design with the roof continuing, but I'm not positive. I will be redesigning it as I go, but so far I'm liking that. So let's go inside. What'd I do to paint it? No, it's not my fault that you cannot find nothing. Now, since I removed that main structure, you got to keep in mind that this black line right here represents where the inside of the house would start. So from this wall to where the kitchen would be is only going to be about 3 feet. From the front door to where the bed would start is about 3 feet. Now, this is a kitchen unit that you can buy online. It's got a small sink, a 2-burner electric stove, some storage on here, and a refrigerator on this side. You can get this in different configurations, but I feel like having the burner away from the bed would be better than having the 2 burners here, sink, fridge, and yada yada. But that is a unit you can buy online for $700. So I really feel like that would be a good option for this design. Now, this will be a custom made bed. I've done some more math on this design, and the width is smaller than a full-size mattress when I start to incorporate the equipment that's needed to make a Murphy bed. Since I need to have a place inside to relax and to eat, I need to get this bed out of the way. So again, it will be a Murphy bed. So this will fold up, and all this stuff down here will become storage. Now, most likely a lot of this stuff right here is going to change, especially the mechanics behind it. So I want some kind of structural support which will support the bed. So this will end up folding up possibly. This again will change. And then you end up with a large kitchen table. This is enough for 2 people to sit. All these bench seats will fold up and there'll be storage underneath it. There will be cushions for the bottom as well as the backrests, which will be stored underneath this table. So when this is down, it can be stored underneath that right there. And then when the table is completely out of the way, you have storage here as well as this whole back section here. It's not a crazy amount of storage, but it'll work for a kind of like a weekend up in the mountains, or if you were by yourself. I feel like this would be a definite way of living, I guess. See, I could do it. Not 2 people for sure. It's a really simple, basic, everything you need, none of the extras. But that's basically it for the inside of this house. I will be possibly doing the window AC unit. And then for the cold nights, a ceramic heater that will go on this wall right here. For plumbing, it'll be extremely minimal. I probably won't do a water pump, so I will have some way of hooking a garden hose up to the house so that it will feed the plumbing that's in the house. The electricity in this house is very basic. It'll probably be able to run off just 15 amps of electricity. There will be 1 or 2 light switches on the inside of the house which control overhead lights and different things in it. Yeah, I guess just the overhead lights. There'll be outlets sporadically placed, most likely 1 on each side of the bed, as well as 2 small reading lamps with their own separate light switch. but very, very, very basic and lightweight, which is very important. So like I just said, a lot of this stuff's going to change, but basically this structure that makes up the interior space will be what I have here. So I can move forward on this project with this rough design. A lot of people say I should be using SketchUp and stuff like that. If you are really good with computers, then yeah, knock yourself out with SketchUp, but I'm not. I mean, I can do some video editing and some other stuff, but SketchUp, I tried it, and to have studs and jacks and cripples and headers and sills and wall heights and put that into a model, I framed for years, and there was many times, pretty much on every house I ever framed, we were given a blueprint, and when we start to build it, there was complications with it because not everything is correct with a blueprint, basically, and that's what SketchUp is. So that's where I really like to do this, where it's a 3D model and I can see and make modifications to it. And this took me like 2-3 hours to make. But yeah, no SketchUp for me. I've tried it and I'm not a fan of it. But it is free if you guys want to download it. You just go to SketchUp or whatever and you can get it. Personally, I wish I kind of started with something like this. Real basic, real cheap. I could have lived in this comfortably for a year, 2 years, 3 years while I built my other tiny house. And I kind of have a sneaky suspicion that I'm going to probably end up moving into this thing while I do the finished work on the inside of my house. So it's kind of crazy that this might end up being finished before my actual tiny house. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go check out my Patreon page. It's going to be linked in the description below. All that money that I get through Patreon goes into this project. So if you want to be a part of supporting it, as well as the designs and modifications that are made to it while I'm doing it, please go check it out. Link's going to be in the description. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And as always, leave your great knowledge down below. So I'm what people would consider a YouTube creator. And I have watched and supported many YouTubers for the past 7-8 years. Wrangler Star being a huge one that I have enjoyed watching. I model a lot of what I do off of his channel, but that is how this channel has become what it is because I like the content those creators are creating, but they're missing things that I enjoy to watch. So one thing that those channels never do, which I feel should be something that we should all do, is support other YouTube creators. Now, of course, I've supported Tiny Nest, which is another tiny house builder, without getting asked or without doing cross promotion and stuff like that. I feel like we should be plugging each other regardless. So I'm not going to do this in every video, but I feel if you guys think it's cool, I will start talking about other channels that I watch, that I enjoy, where I gain some of my inspiration, not only for creating videos, but also knowledge on living a more subsistent lifestyle and moving towards that off-grid lifestyle. But a channel that I found recently that I've been following occasionally is Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I will leave a link for them in the description below. They've got a really cute, cozy cabin. Is that politically correct? I think it was. I like it. I think it's great. They've got farm animals and gardens and stuff like that, but they go over a lot of stuff that I want to work my way towards. So again, I will link their channel, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, down below. They are probably one of the coolest channels that I've found that live that off-grid lifestyle. A lot of them tend to be very prim and proper. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next video. This is my scientific calculating. Well, that's a little weight. That's a little weight. You need to move them forward. Whatever. It'll be fine.